or tuning in the sun. This is TFM, get ready to rock. From AM to PM, come on, let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our news desk. His Majesty praised by Egyptian newspapers. Majlis Shura commends royal decrees restructuring. Public Services Regulation issues mechanism to file complaints. Over half of the new ministers in Oman are under age 55 years. More flights from Oman added under Phase 6 of Vande Bharat mission. US Senate report on Russian election meddling fails to present evidence according to the Russian Foreign Ministry. Africa CDC urges avoiding prevention fatigue amidst easing lockdowns. These were the top headlines from our news desk. Let's see how the weather in the Sultanate looks like in the weather update.
I'm Mantra Bose with your daily dose of weather. Today I am standing outside the TFM studio in Al Quair and we've got pretty clear skies here. So while we're here, why don't we step inside the studio and talk a little bit more about weather. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation has issued an alert indicating that seas will be rough on the Arabian Sea coasts. This will be accompanied by a reduction in horizontal visibility during thundershower and fog. The humidity is going to be between 70 to 95% over the Arabian Sea. Over the Musandam Sea, we're expecting it to range from 55 to 85%, and over the Oman Sea, it's going to be 65 to 85%. That being said, let's look at what the temperature is going to be like in the rest of the governorate.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now, before we start with our local news, let's see how the COVID situation in the country looks like today. As the COVID-19 pandemic and global fall in oil prices start to impact the economy, Oman could soon feel the adverse impact of more than 160,000 expat workers leaving the country this year. Expats leaving the country take away with them their skills and the money they spend locally, which may hamper future growth, says economists. According to data from the National Center for Statistics and Information, known as NCSI, there were 1,065,081 expatriate workers in Oman in January this year. That number went down to 1,497,511 at the end of July, which means 160,600 foreign workers has left this country in the span of just 7 months. The construction sector was the worst affected by the exit of so many expats, which saw more than 70,000 workers leaving the country, followed by the automobile and services sector, which lost about 22,000 expat workers. In addition to that, the food and hospitality sector has also lost more than 9,500 foreign workers. About 25,000 workers left Oman's agriculture, forestry, and fishery agricultures. These were the COVID-19 related updates. Now from our local desk. Egyptian newspapers have hailed the royal decree issued by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq on restructuring the administrative apparatus of the state. Al-Wafd newspaper said that the Sultanate has witnessed comprehensive restructuring for the administrative apparatus of the state by wise decisions issued by His Majesty Sultan Haitham to cement Oman Vision 2040. The newspaper added that on August 18, 2020, His Majesty the Sultan issued 28 royal decrees on restructuring the administrative apparatus of the state in the form of consolidation and cancellation of some ministries, restructuring the Council of Ministers, change of names of some ministries, and cancellation of boards and institutions and initiation of new ones. Masr al-Arabia newspaper said that the royal decrees have focused on Oman's economy and reduced the number of ministries and delegated powers and authorities to some ministers. The newspaper also pointed to the analysis released by the Institute of Washington, wherein it reiterated that the appointments made by the royal decrees represented a clear transformation toward a more institutional rule in the Sultanate. Al-Sharuq newspaper said that the royal decrees have included a decree on cancellation of some laws, establishment of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth, merger of the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs, and establishment of the Ministry of Labour and endorsement of its organizational structure. Majlis al-Shura has also commended the recent royal decrees issued by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq on restructuring the state's administrative apparatus. The Majlis said in a statement that the royal action pumped fresh blood into the administrative apparatus through the inclusion of Omani nationals known for their expertise in different spheres. This, the statement added, will help promote the objectives of Oman Vision 2040 so that it could reflect the aspirations of the people of Oman and eventually realize His Majesty's pledge to shuttle Oman into a new orbit of rebuilding and development. The Majlis expressed its deep appreciation for the incorporation of a group of Majlis al-Shura members into the state's administrative apparatus, an indication that they won the confidence of His Majesty for their aptitude to contribute to the Renaissance March and enhance interaction between the Majlis and the government. In particular, the Majlis hailed the royal decrees expanding women's participation in development, noting that female members of the government are a pride to the Omani womenfolk. The Authority for Public Services Regulation has issued a mechanism to file a complaint with the authority. A statement issued online by the Authority for Public Services Regulation said, "Distinguished subscribers, you can file a complaint with the authority after following the following steps. Number 1, communicating with the electricity provider company in the region and submitting a formal complaint to it. Number 2, the company will then respond to the complaint. In the event that you are not satisfied with your response, you can request that the complaint be raised to the company's subscriber services director. If you're not satisfied, then you can request an official letter from the company to file a complaint with the authority. The authority also notes that the companies must respond to the complaints of subscribers. Subscribers can contact the companies by phone or via social media," the statement added. More than 60% of the new appointed ministers in the Sultanate are under the age group of 55 years. A statement issued online by the Government Communication Center, known as GC, it said that a group of government leaders with youthful spirit, high competencies, and a promising presence for women. The percentage of the age group less than 55 years has reached 60% of the new ministerial information, according to the royal decrees that were issued on Tuesday, August 18, 2020. The breakup of ministers, under-secretaries and deputy prime ministers appointed age-wise is as follows. 4 ministers and 17 under-secretaries of the age group younger than 45 years, 8 ministers and 18 under-secretaries aged between 40 to 50 years, 7 ministers and 28 secretaries from the age group of 51 to 55 years, 26 ministers, 26 under-secretaries, and 3 deputy prime minister aged 56 and over. In addition to that, the statement also said that ministerial formation has also kept in mind those with high academic qualifications that reflect competence and specialization as follows. 14 ministers, 31 under-secretaries, and 1 deputy prime minister with a master's degree, 13 ministers and 28 under-secretaries with a doctoral degree, 9 ministers, 24 under-secretaries, and 2 deputy ministers with a bachelor's degree, 9 ministers, and 5 undersecretaries who have a general diploma. The statement also said that the new ministerial formation includes 8 women with a ministerial position, 3 of them with a master's degree, 4 with a doctorate degree, and 1 with a bachelor's degree. The Muscat municipality has issued a clarification about the accumulation of garbage in designated containers on a beach in Muscat Governorate. A statement issued online by Muscat municipality said, the municipality confirms that it has dealt with the observation immediately, noting that containers are emptied on a daily basis according to what has been scheduled in the relevant directorates. The Muscat municipality appreciates the community's keenness and thanks for their cooperation in monitoring these phenomena and reporting them to the authorities. Muscat municipality invites all beachgoers to put garbage in large containers in case the small containers are full, according to the statement issued by the Muscat municipality. The government of India has decided to add 21 more flights to India from Oman under Phase 6 of Vande Bharat mission. A total of 21 flights will be operated from Muscat to various destinations such as Chennai, Lucknow, Kannur, Mumbai, Kochi, Trivandrum, Delhi, Calicut, Bangalore, Mangalore, Hyderabad, Vijayawada, and Tiruchirappalli, the Embassy of India in Muscat confirmed. The Embassy of India in its press release said that, as in the case of flights operated earlier under Vande Bharat mission, passenger lists for all the above-mentioned flights will be finalized by the embassy on the basis of information received by it. Passengers are requested to provide details under confirmation to travel on a particular flight on the online form floated by the embassy for Vande Bharat mission Phase 6. All such people will be contacted by Air India directly for booking of tickets. The passengers, after registering on the online form, may also approach Air India offices in Rui and Uthaya directly to book tickets on a first-come, first-served basis. However, priority will be given to medical emergency cases, pregnant women, workers in distress, senior citizens, as well as to other Indian nationals who are stranded in difficult situations, the release mentioned. The cost of tickets will have to be borne by the passengers themselves, and passengers are also required to confirm acceptance of all conditions, travel including quarantine requirements in India, as well as health requirements in order to board the flight. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. The final volume of a report released by the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee on alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 U.S. election fails to present facts and evidence, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson said lately. According to the spokesperson, like the previous released sections of the report, the last part does not contain real facts or evidence. In fact, it represents the unfounded accusations we have been familiar with since the Mueller report and other U.S. documents came out, including the alleged hacking of the servers of the Democratic Party, the contacts of Trump staff with Russian citizens, and Russia's desire to undermine the U.S. democracy, etc., according to the spokesperson. The spokesperson said Russia had repeatedly noted the unsubstantiated nature of those U.S. claims, adding that the whole story about Russian interference was from the very beginning invented in the course of the international political struggle between various forces in the United States. Russia regrets the damage done to its relationship with the United States and warned Washington against spreading anti-Russia myths, she added. Iraq's confirmed novel coronavirus cases rose to 356,792 on Saturday after an overnight registration of 2,028 new infections. Meanwhile, Iraq's COVID-19 cases surpassed 200,000 mark. Seema Sadat Lari, spokeswoman for the Iran's Ministry of Health and Medical Education, said The pandemic has so far claimed 20,502 lives in Iran, up by 126 in the past 24 hours. Besides, 307,702 have recovered and been discharged from hospitals, while 3,850 remain in critical condition. In Iraq, the total number of COVID-19 infections reached 201,050 as the Iraqi Health Ministry reported 3,965 new cases on Sunday. It also reported 70 fatalities during the day, raising the death toll to 6,353, while 2,947 more patients recovered in the day, bringing the total number of recoveries to 143,393. Ghaib al-Umairi, a member of the Parliamentary Health Committee, said in a press release that the infections with coronavirus could climb to 10,000 per day if the non-compliance with the health restrictions continued. Moving on, Saudi Arabia's health ministry announced the registration of 1,184 new coronavirus cases on Sunday, bringing the total cases to 306,370. The recovery rose to 78,441 with the registration of 1,374 new recovered cases, and the death toll reached to 3,619 with the registration of 39 fatalities in the last 24 hours. Saudi Ministry of Human Resources and Social Development announced that the government employees will return to work starting August 30th, 2020. In Turkey, the total number of COVID-19 cases rose to 257,032 with 1,309 new infections on Sunday, Turkish Health Minister tweeted. The death toll from the virus in the country increased to 6,102 after 22 new fatalities were added in the past 24 hours, while the total recoveries rose to 236,370. The Qatari Health Ministry announced 284 new COVID-19 infections yesterday, raising the total number of confirmed cases in the Gulf state to 116,765. Meanwhile, 315 more recovered from the virus, bringing the total recoveries to 113,531, while the death toll remained at 193. Kuwait reported 688 new COVID-19 cases and 2 more deaths on Sunday, raising the tally of infections to 79,957 and the death toll to 513, the Health Ministry said in a statement. The ministry also announced the recovery of 506 more patients, raising the total recoveries in the country to 71,770. Morocco registered 1,565 new COVID-19 cases, taking the total number in the North African country to 50,812, the health ministry said. In addition, 41 new deaths were reported, taking the death toll to 858, and the total recoveries increased by 841 to 35,040 in the last 24 hours in Morocco. The United Arab Emirates announced 424 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total confirmed cases in the country to 66,617. In addition, 112 more patients have recovered from the virus, taking the tally of recoveries in the UAE to 58,408. The UAE also confirmed 2 more deaths, pushing up the country's death toll to 372. The Lebanese Health Ministry reported 611 new coronavirus cases, raising the total number to 12,191, while the death toll went up by 5 to 121. Over the past few days, Lebanese doctors have been warning against a scenario of uncontrollable spread of COVID-19, similar to what happened in Italy. Walid Mahmoud, Director General of Irfan Hospital, said in that scenario, hospitals would become full and doctors have to remove ventilators from the old to save young people. The National Center for Disease Control of Libya also reported 414 new coronavirus cases, bringing the total confirmed cases in the country so far to more than 10,000. The center said in a statement earlier Saturday that it received a total of 2,562 suspected samples, of which 414 were tested positive, adding 6 patients have recovered and 7 died. The African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, known as Africa CDC, has urged the continent to avoid coronavirus prevention fatigue. The urgent call was made by the director of the Africa CDC, who noted a slight decrease in COVID-19 infection rates on the continent and said that this gives some signs of hope that we are beginning to bend the curve slowly. The Africa CDC director, however, cautioned the continent to maintain and increase the use of masks, social distancing, and to ramp up testing even as countries began to ease lockdown measures. In the past week, Africa reported an average of 10,344 new cases per day compared to 11,494 the week before and 14,447 the previous week, according to figures issued from the Africa CDC. The Africa CDC Specialized Healthcare Agency of the 55-member African Union, known as AU, also announced that Africa is working towards trusted testing for COVID-19 to protect travel and borders. This will entail mutual recognition of certified COVID-19 testing among all member states to allow for smooth movement across the continent. The Continental Pact Initiative, which was rolled out in June, when the continent had conducted under 400,000 tests, had a target of 10 million tests across the continent. A few months later, 10,256,000 tests have been conducted, the majority of them in 10 countries that are South Africa, Morocco, Ethiopia, Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria, Uganda, and Mauritius. The Africa CDC also disclosed a new target of 20 million tests that has been set for the period from now on until the beginning of November to capitalize on the gains recorded so far. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have a very special person from the Pakistan Social Club joining us who will be talking about COVID-19 and the Pakistan community currently. Stay tuned.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. As I mentioned earlier that we have a very special guest joining us who will be talking about COVID-19 and Pakistan community in the Sultanate. So let's welcome Sayyedzada Sakhawat Bukhari, who actually was the former General Secretary for Pakistan Social Club, Oman. Thank you so much, Mr. Bukhari, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Mr. Bukhari, can you please tell us a little about yourself? Because as I know that you have been in Oman for quite a long time.
Yeah. I am from Kamra district Attak in Pakistan and working and living in Oman since last 45 years. I have been elected Secretary General of Pakistan Social Club Oman 3 times and once head of the cultural and literary wing. But my basic identification is I am a social worker, a servant of the community. That is all.
Thank you, Mr. Bukhari. So, you have been here for 45 years in Oman, sir. Could you please tell us now, considering the COVID-19 situation in the country, in fact, across the world, what are the main concerns of the Pakistani community in the Sultanate as of now?
We can divide our community into 3 segments. On the top is the business community, Pakistani businessmen and women. Secondly, highly educated doctors, engineers, lecturers, professors, and other consultants. And lastly, the third section is our skilled and semi-skilled workers, laborers. So first and second segment, they are doing well, although they are also affected by this pandemic, but there is no problem. But we are worried about our third segment, skilled, semi-skilled and labor class, the daily wages. This is our main concern after this disastrous pandemic. But here we cannot blame anyone because this is something natural and it happened all over the world, not only Oman. So this is the only concern of our community about our labor class, our skilled, semi-skilled, lower class.
Thank you, Mr. Bukhari. Now, sir, you're talking about the problems that this third sector has, like the third segment that you just described, that is semi-skilled and the labor. How is the Embassy of Pakistan as well as the Pakistan Social Club in Oman trying to tackle or resolve these issues?
Well, I always say the Embassy of Pakistan and the Ambassador of Pakistan is having a parental role. And we are lucky that our newly appointed ambassador, H.E. Hassan Wagan, has proved this. And when this pandemic started, it was a war-like situation. But he immediately found a COVID-19 relief committee to assist and help our community, needy people who are stuck in lockdown areas. So also Pakistan Social Club joined Embassy of Pakistan and they started helping out the needy people in this pandemic.
So, Mr. Bukhari, in what ways have the Embassy of Pakistan, you were talking about the relief committee that has been established, in what ways the Embassy of Pakistan and Social Club has come together to work and provide support to the people in need right now?
Yeah, the ambassador has formed one relief committee, as I have stated. I'm also a member of that committee. And with the Association of Pakistan Social Club Oman, they appeal to the community, the donor, the other wealthy people to please come forward and help your brothers and sisters in the time of need in cash and kind. So I'm very proud to say that most of the people, they came out on the appeal of our ambassador and they brought food items. And there was a time when we were not having space to store the food items in the courtyard of the embassy. Then the next stage was how to distribute. So they set up a control room in the embassy to receive calls from the needy people. So some 2, 3 people were sitting there, Mr. Kashif Zaim of Rahat Computer, Dr. Sharaf Ataullah, and Bilal Mubashir and some others, with the focal person of the embassy, Mr. Ahmad Ali. So they were instructing our volunteers. There is one Mr. Kamar Riaz, a director of the Pakistan Social Club Oman. He managed and organized one team of volunteers to distribute these food items. So these boys, the youngsters, they work day and night to distribute the food items at the doorstep of the needy peoples of Pakistan community. And it was continued till end of the Ramadan. So food items were distributed among all those who are in lockdown, especially in Matra district. Although actually the ambassador appointed some community members in other cities too, in Salala, in Buremi, in Sohar, to help the needy people. But our main operation was in capital area. So we provided them food, medicine, and in some cases, cash also we have provided to our needy community members.
Thank you, Mr. Bukhari. Now, for those, sir, there are certain segments that you just described. There would be some people who cannot actually afford to fly back to Pakistan. Is Pakistan Social Club trying to help them out in one way or the other? You just mentioned that there were financial help that was extended to the Pakistani citizens in Oman. Is there any kind of package, or is there any kind of help extended for those who cannot fly back?
Honestly speaking, Pakistan Social Club is not in position to give any financial aid to anyone because our resources are very limited. We are collecting some money from membership fee, and even for our events we are going to different sponsors for donations. But when we say Pakistan Social Club Oman, it means Pakistan community in Oman. So on the recommendations of Pakistan Social Club Oman and their office bearers, there are many people who can help these needy people. And I'm sure no one will be disappointed. Once our embassy is there, our club is there, our community is there, inshallah, everyone, whoever need any help, they will be there, and no one will be disappointed, and they will be sent back. If there is anybody who want ticket or any help, so he can contact Pakistan Social Club or Embassy of Pakistan. So they will refer them to different people. Although Social Club is not in position to give financial aid, but they can refer them to different people for their help. So I don't think there is any problem for these people.
Right, sir.
Yes.
So, what are the main concerns of Pakistani citizens when they are approaching the social club? What are the main concerns that you have noticed during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Actually, there are no major concerns, no issues. They only need guidelines, guidance. We have to guide the people to solve their problem, how to solve their problem. They mostly come to ask for guidance because, our third segment, they are only contacting Pakistan Social Club Oman. The first and second need not to contact Social Club Oman, but our skilled workers, semi-skilled and daily wages, labor class, mostly they are coming and asking for some guidance. For example, somebody don't know when flight is going, what is the fare price, what should I do, what are the rules. So they need only guidance. And Alhamdulillah, Social Club is guiding them. I appreciate social media team of Pakistan Social Club Oman that they are providing all kind of information on social media to their community.
Thank you, Mr. Bukhari, once again for joining us. We have come to the end of our show for today. It was a great pleasure to have you, sir, on board with us and talk about the Pakistani community, the challenges faced by the community, and also how Pakistan Social Club and Pakistan Embassy are extending to help all those in need. Thank you so much, sir, once again for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Always a pleasure. We have come towards the end of the episode for today, and in conversation today we had Mr. Bukhari, from former General Secretary of Pakistan Social Club, who actually brought some really nice points about how the relief committee to assist people in need in Oman were created by the Pakistan Embassy and Pakistan Social Club together, and also how they distributed food items and medicines to people in the lockdown area, especially of Matra, that took place in March, and then from then on to Salalah and Buraimi, basically reaching out to all those Pakistani citizens in need across Oman. everyone. Well, we have come to an end for the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more latest updates your way. So stay tuned and keep watching TTV.